Right, moving on. Now that we've done a couple of steps here, still more to come. Let's just do a very quick screen cap. So let me kick the screen sharing in. Firstly, just to remind you that this license with the QR code on the left is the new license. The new license. That's correct. And the one that does not have it and the old number format there is now termed a legacy license. And then secondly, the online ICASA portal is available at https:// otherwise known as www.online.icasa.org.za. And what we did in the previous video was we created the online account. So from this point, we are going to follow a couple of steps. So let's firstly just log on. And for the purposes of this demo video, I have switched over. Yeah, I'm going to say no. I have switched over to the Microsoft Edge browser just to see if it bombs out or fails at any point during this process. If it does, then I will go back to Google Chrome and, well, we'll pause the video, go back to Google Chrome, get to the same point and move forward from that point. So when we have a look at the screen, guys, 99.999% of all of you will not be working in the broadcast spectrum, nor will you be operating in the type approval unless you are a importer, distributor, or somebody who is going to require type approvals on radio equipment. The only area that you are going to operate in is this yellow or gold, whichever way you want to look at it. For me, it's a mustard color. So you need to muster your strength in order to understand this process moving forward. There are two buttons. The first one is apply and the second one is manage. However, you at this point have only got an online log-on capability. You do not have a full-blown Microsoft, a full-blown ICASA account where you can look at your RF licenses, your type approvals, your broadcasting, and of course check your verification. So if you take a look at your verification, the first thing that comes up is this registration details. But I want to move back to the previous screen first, and then we will come into the registration details, because I believe that there's an area of explanation that must be clearly understood, and you don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand it. Even radio amateurs can accomplish that one, I can assure you. So let's go back to the ICASA online. If you try and apply, guess what? Correct. Back to registration details. If you try to manage, guess what? Back to registration details. Now, what I want to point out to you is this. It's called a legal entity. And I'm going to stop the screen sharing so you can see the sincerity in my eyes. Let me put my glasses on and it'll magnify the blueness. Right. You now need to understand, firstly, that this is an online account that you have created at this point. You have not created a legal persona or legal entity. Point number two, you as a person, an individual, somebody made of flesh and bones, you are a legal entity. But there are other kinds of legal entities, businesses, whether they are PDY Limited, limited companies, SEOs, whatever, anything that's registered with SIP-C. Take note. Any entity that is registered with SIP-C is a legal entity. Non-profit companies also. Now, I don't even know where the website is for SIP-C, so I wanted to actually show you that one. Let me just get this here quickly, and I will share the screen, and I will explain to you that if you are registered with SIP-C, you are, in actual fact, there we go. Let's go and share the screen while it opens up. And of course, SIP-C is slow, like most of the government websites. And I'm also running this in Edge, which, believe it or not, makes it a lot slower as well. So I want to kill that while I wait for that to open, and I'll just pause the video till it does actually open. Look, while I wait for that, I'm just going to go back to Google Chrome and put in SIP-C.ICASA and just see if there isn't another problem. I know the site could be down. Okay, so that there could be a problem. Let's, no, there we go. The company's an intellectual property commission. And let's just check Edge quickly. Yeah. Edge hasn't even opened up, and of course when Edge gets in, it doesn't open up fully, and oh no, they've now updated their website. Right, so if you are registered here, let me just take this call. All right, so if you are registered here, you are in actual fact registered as a company. Companies, non-profit companies, trusts, etc., are all part and parcel of a business or of a legal entity of their own accord. Associations, that is any group or entity that is formed by means of a constitution, is a legal entity as well. So for the radio amateurs, clubs, 99.9% of you are formed in terms of a constitution and not in terms of a memorandum of incorporation, as is the case with your non-profit companies. So those that are registered with SIP-C, you will select business if, for example, you are going to select or apply on behalf of your business. Those of you that are not running a business, i.e. 99.9% of the radio amateurs, please take note that you will select individual. Now, it's crucial that you understand at this point, guys. I want to make it clear that I understand why it is that I understand the process that has been followed here is because of my time with the Industrial Development Corporation and understanding some of the inner workings of these various departments, especially within the DTI sort of framework. And of course, them being on a various other systems, etc., the process is why I need you to understand that as a radio amateur that has got a single ZS amateur radio restricted, unrestricted license, it doesn't make a difference, you would in actual fact be registered as an individual. Now comes the crucial part of you as an individual. A legal persona is only applicable, I think, from the age of 16 years of age. although I stand to be corrected, and if there's any legal oaks that are listening to this, please let me know where it actually begins, but I think it's 16, it may very well be 18. So where we have got ZU operators with licenses, they would in actual fact not be considered a legal persona, and they in actual fact have to have all transactions undertaken by a legal guardian or a parent. So please bear that one in mind for now, because as a parent, on one of the future steps, you might be able to, and I think that is exactly what will happen, you will have to transact on behalf of your children under the age of 16. And you will create a separate legal entity within your own online log on. Take note of that. You've at this point created the online account, allowing you to get to this point. This step that we are describing now is the one that you are going to cover as an individual, and we are going to assume that you are an adult, which I will put you back into screen sharing. And while I did that, I had an opportunity to have half a mug of cold coffee. Now that I'm back in the screen share, I just want to highlight under the registration details, the SIPC, businesses will select a business. You as an adult individual radio amateur will select an individual. In this step, at least in any event. So remember, your online account allows you now to come and register various legal entities. So you get one account, and within that account, you can in actual fact have a business. You can, and definitely at this point, you have to register yourself as an individual. And then thirdly, associations, that is clubs, etc., etc. You need to create a legal entity for this. So your founding documents for your business will have to be provided. Your ID document will have to be provided for individual. And of course, the club constitution will have to be provided under association. All right, so are you a new or existing customer? Well, at this point, you will definitely be new. So we will stick to individual. We will say new, and we need to just understand what is going on with the 4 buttons at the bottom. If you click save, whatever you've done at this up until this point will be saved. If you click submit, it will save it and move you to the next section. If you exit, it will just take you out, but it won't make any changes as such to what you've done. And if you cancel it, it will cancel the application. I'm not going to go through the cancel at this stage. I'm going to hit the submit, and then, as I say, or have said in the previous, we need to wait for it to load. So while it is loading, I want you to understand that this becomes extremely slow sometimes, and you need to be patient. All right, now, as you can see, there is various information that is required that has to be completed, and then in the case of the individual, you have to supply your identity document. As I said, if it was a business, it will ask you for your business founding documents. If it is an association, it will ask you for your club constitution. Okay, so I'm just going to pause the video and populate all these fields. I think it is self-explanatory. Trading name, because of the fact that you're an individual, sole proprietors, by the way, trading as something else. So Chad Milam, trading as MCOM Assist, is a legal entity. Bear that in mind. So I can do it as an individual under a trading name. And sole proprietors definitely can do this as well. However, you will, in actual fact, only submit your ID document. All right, initials, name, surname, fill in the RSA, nationality, email, contact number. Now, your email address here might not be the same as your online account logon. So bear that in mind. You can use the same one, but if you operate under a different business name or you've got a separate Gmail account, whatever, you can do it. And then, of course, the physical address and the postal address is required. So let me pause the video and I will populate the form quickly. All right, now that I've populated the form and I've got everything in, what I now need to do is actually upload the ID documents. So I just want to quickly go and find that file of Carl's, or the copy of his ID at least, which now I don't know where it is hiding. So I need to just find that. I had it a second ago and of course I've lost it. So let's pause. All right, so of course it has something to do with not identifying JPEG here, which seems very strange. The file is definitely here, and it's just not coming up at all, so I might have to convert my oh, it's a JPEG. You know what? They want this thing in a PDF format, so I think we need to get his ID book into a PDF format. So there we go. There's the first note of concern for you.